Carney's new policy faces backlash as Poilievre unveils anti-corruption laws targeting liberals. Pierre Poilievre is on the offensive, unveiling bold accountability proposals aimed directly at Mark Carney and the Liberals. These measures are designed to close the loopholes that have allowed insiders like Carney to profit while ordinary Canadians bear the burden of rising costs and declining public trust. The political climate is charged, and the stakes could not be higher as Canadians grapple with issues that affect their daily lives. Recent polling from Main Street Research, a firm often seen as leaning towards the Liberals, indicates a significant shift in public sentiment, with the Conservatives now leading by 3 points, putting them neck and neck with the Liberals. This change is critical as it reflects growing dissatisfaction with Carney's leadership and the Liberal government's handling of key issues, including healthcare, housing affordability, and public safety. Many Canadians are feeling the pinch of rising prices, and the perception that the government is out of touch with their struggles is becoming a rallying point for the opposition. In particular, the cost of living crisis has become a central theme of the campaign. With inflation affecting everything from groceries to gas prices, voters are looking for leadership that understands their challenges. Poilievre's focus on accountability resonates with an electorate that is tired of perceived corruption and inefficiencies within government. It's essential for supporters to continue sharing the truth, pushing the message, and encouraging voter turnout. The election is far from over, and Carney appears to be struggling under increasing scrutiny, even from media outlets that typically support him. The narrative is shifting, and Canadians are starting to question whether the status quo is truly serving their interests. In a troubling development, leaked prison documents suggest that Liberal-aligned activists are attempting to spread misinformation among inmates, trying to undermine Poilievre's tough-on-crime policies, such as the proposed 3 strikes law. This law aims to impose stricter penalties on repeat offenders, reflecting a significant shift in public safety strategy after years of what many perceive as a soft-on-crime approach. The idea that they are now campaigning behind bars to sway public opinion is outrageous and raises serious ethical questions about the lengths to which political operatives will go to protect their interests. Moreover, public safety remains a critical concern for Canadians. The ongoing issues with crime rates in urban centers, coupled with the fentanyl crisis, have left many feeling unsafe in their communities. Poilievre's tough-on-crime stance seeks to address these fears directly, appealing to voters who prioritize safety and security. The leaked documents not only highlight the tactics being employed by the Liberals, but also signify a desperate attempt to counteract Poilievre's growing popularity among voters who demand action on crime. Poilievre is also gaining traction on Polymarket, a betting market that reflects public sentiment about political outcomes. Even as reports suggest that external influences are attempting to bolster Carney's position, the betting markets are shifting decisively in favor of Poilievre, indicating a growing belief among the public about the direction of this election. This trend can be attributed to Poilievre's clear messaging and his ability to connect with the everyday concerns of Canadians. As he continues to outline his vision for accountability and transparency, more voters are beginning to see him as a viable alternative to the current government. Meanwhile, the media landscape continues to be contentious. CBC has been criticized for its favorable coverage of Jagmeet Singh, portraying him as one of the great NDP leaders. Critics argue that Singh's legacy may ultimately be defined by his support for a Liberal government that many view as corrupt. The perception that Singh is simply propping up the Liberals has diminished his credibility among his own supporters and has raised questions about the NDP's role in the current political landscape. Turning back to Carney, his flagship campaign proposal, a taxpayer-funded park pass, has drawn skepticism from various quarters. While Poilievre focuses on accountability and affordability, Carney appears to be adopting U.S.-style programs that benefit companies with which he has connections. For instance, initiatives related to tiny homes and heat pumps are closely tied to Brookfield, a company where Carney previously held a top executive position. This raises serious concerns about potential conflicts of interest, as Carney influences policy that directly benefits his former employer, a textbook example of corruption. The public is increasingly aware of these connections, and such revelations could significantly undermine Carney's credibility as a candidate for Prime Minister. In response to these issues, Poilievre has introduced the Accountability Act 2.0, which aims to end shadow lobbying, enforce tax transparency, increase ethics fines, and require ministers to divest assets and disclose their tax jurisdictions. This proposed legislation is a direct challenge to the status quo and seeks to ensure that government officials are held accountable for their actions. Notably, Carney, despite being a candidate for Prime Minister, has not clarified whether he pays taxes in Canada. He has been criticized for advising the government to raise taxes while allegedly stashing his wealth in tax havens like Bermuda and the Cayman Islands. Such actions, if true, could further erode public trust in his leadership. Canadians deserve better leadership, one that prioritizes the needs of the people over personal financial gain. As the election approaches, it is crucial for citizens to stay informed, share the truth, and vote for change. The stakes are high, and the future of Canada depends on electing leaders who are committed to transparency and accountability. The electorate is becoming increasingly aware of the implications of corruption and the importance of integrity in leadership. In conclusion, as the political landscape evolves, it is vital for Canadians to engage actively in the democratic process. The upcoming election presents an opportunity to demand accountability from those in power and to ensure that the government works for the benefit of all citizens, not just a privileged few. By mobilizing support and encouraging open dialogue, Canadians can make their voices heard and influence the direction of their country. Together, they can advocate for a future that prioritizes transparency, integrity, and the genuine interests of the populace. The call for change is not merely a campaign slogan, it is a demand for a government that truly represents the will of the people.